FIA Formula 2 moves away from Saudi Arabia to Albert Park in Melbourne. It's the third round of the Formula 2 campaign and it's time for qualifying. Welcome to FIA Formula 2 and the qualifying session, 30 minutes ahead of us to decide the running order for both the sprint and the feature. Pole position in this one will determine the pole for the feature, P number 8, and now P number 10, if I'm not mistaken, will give the order for the reverse grid. It's a 195.6 mile an hour top speed, 14 turns in total, 2.5 metre elevation change across the lap, and it's absolutely awesome and flat out. I'm not solo for this one. I'm Joshua Birch. Alongside me in the commentary box is Omi, who's had a couple of hours sleep, hopefully, in the past. Yep, nodded. That's great. I'll be going for 3 hours sleep in around about 30 minutes time, so I'm very much ready to get it going. But welcome back, Omi. Big news is Alexander Albon didn't take part in practice 2. Engine, yeah, I guess you know all that. That's good. Don't have to go over it then. But getting set then, as the green light goes on, what are you looking forward to for F2 quali?
A close qualifying session, as per usual. Formula 2 always delivering so. Looking forward to a close session. I think it's going to be exciting. Interested to see how Oliver Behrman gets on as well. Antonelli looks very quick. Let's see how he is able to do. Can Maney continue his form from qualifying? Of course, pole in Bahrain, but then was denied that due to a little technical infringement, and then managed to get on the front row, which was pole after Behrman moved up to F1. So Maney looking also very, very good. Let's see if these guys can all continue it as they come onto the circuit now. But the sleep I got is, I think, the only sleep I'll get, because I'm like busy all throughout the day as well. And then I'll be joining you with the all-nighters for Saturday and Sunday, of course.
It is going to be a very long weekend for us all with sleep schedules. Omi, you are a diamond in that one. I, however, have completely flagged and do not know how I'm going to do this one. So at least Omi's slightly more refreshed as we look at Enzo Fittipaldi for Van Amersfoort Racing, watching on, getting set to go. Not in a hurry to get out there, but Behrman, I think, is going to be the one to watch again because he had pole position in the last race in Saudi, didn't get to actually compete it, so he wants to be out for blood, and he was fast this morning in F2 practice.
He was fast this morning, but there's going to be so many other drivers as well, all in contention, looking for that pole position. We'll see whether Zane Maloney can try get involved. Is ART back with Victor Martins? Can he try get involved with that one? And then Bortoletti qualifying on the front row. It was third, but then was moved up to the front row after he was on the front row and then inherited pole actually due to his teammate being disqualified there. So Bortoletti performed really well in the opening round. So let's see how he gets on here today in Australia. 4 DRS zones, of course. So a lot of pushing around this circuit, a lot of high-speed corners. We've already seen Sami Megatuniv find the wall. He did that at the final corner in F3, qualifying earlier on.
Now listen here, Formula 2. I want a nice, clean qualifying. Drivers.
You know, anything tight and twisty, you need to be at the front. You need track position to control what you do. If you're midfield and back, you're on the back foot straight away from the start, you know. Again, safety cars will play a massive issue in the race. But if you're at the front, you've got a much better chance.
Yeah, so pole position is key here. Track temperature 32.5, air temperature 20, 58% humidity as they cross the line. And as always, Omi, they're going to do their double laps, which could become quite interesting because no tyre warmers in F2 and F3, yeah. So they have to do an out lap and then a banker lap and then begin their push, but everyone's sticking together again.
They are sticking together, and Victor Martin's trying to make a move, as I didn't need Red Bull anyway. World champion Dennis Halga over there. Oh, love to see the fans all in support of Formula 2 currently. That is taking place and staying around for this amazing series to see who is going to be on pole. There is when Oliver Behrman. But yeah, we want a quick session. We don't want to be going on and have delays like we did last year, because of course the clock does stop. I think you wouldn't fall asleep because I'm here, but it would be a bit boring, wouldn't it? But Bear, let's hear from Bear.
It was a great start to the weekend in F2, which I was really happy with, and I was really looking forward to getting started with my championship, because Bahrain was a really difficult one. So we started it in the best way. Then to get the call was, I was in two minds, you know. I was really happy to get this opportunity, and I couldn't miss it. It's a once in a lifetime thing, so I had to take it. But at the same time, having qualified on the Q1 in F2, I was a bit disappointed. At first I was trying to see if I could do both at the same time, but of course that's not possible. And yeah, now I just have to start where we finished in Jeddah and try to build the momentum from there.
No points, of course, on the board for Oliver Bearman. He's got a lot to do this coming weekend, as the cars on Bortoletto trying to get ahead of Bearman there as well. Just getting a right up mess as we get our lap time started.
Becoming a right up mess as well, all queuing up. That was O'Sullivan right on the back as we now make our way through the final corner. Lap times starting now, but they were all queued up and they were all fighting for track position over those two outlaps, as Oliver Bearman now makes his way down towards turn number 1, does the Ferrari Academy driver, gets the car slowed down, and then makes his way now down towards turn number 3. DRS wide open for Oliver Bearman as he tries to get a lap time on the board in this session. 24 minutes, just under 25 minutes right now to go in this one. Let's see what Bearman's going to be able to do then for the first sector.
Yellow flags come out. Someone's not listened to my instructions. So someone's thrown it away on the track. I don't know where. Sector 2, permanent yellow. Well, that's Bearman slowing. No, car
slowing.
No, car stop. Look, there's a wing missing. There, red flag's going to come out. Is that Martins? It is. Victor Martins has ground to a halt. I don't know if he's hit the barrier, but red flag, and there goes the nice sleep pattern for me.
Oh, well, disappointing for Josh, disappointing for Martins, and well, the ART had an issue with Victor Martins in the Bahrain feature race. He came to a halt, and he's come to a halt again. It seems like it's the same drivers who are just coming to a halt all the time now.
It's like a glitch in the system, isn't it? It's just...
Yeah. Oh. You're right. Right, so that's going to ruin all of that, and they'll all be coming into the pit then. Here's the replay.
Let's listen in. Oh, it was that bump, and then he spun round, and the car just goes into anti-stall immediately.
Yeah.
He stalled too easy.
He was threatening to do that in practice. He luckily kept it out of the wall, as the PHM just about avoided that moment. But yeah, Victor Martins just losing the car. Lucky to keep it out of the barrier, but that was him stalled, and that was it for his session there.
SHG said, it was Maloney, and then he sideswiped, and that would have been a massive accident as well. SHG says, Martins is really having a shocking start to his F2 season. I'll tell you another thing as well, that bump has got to be repaired going into tomorrow. It can't stay. It's getting ridiculous. It's caused so much drama already. So it'll get sorted out and fixed. Well, come on, everybody. Everyone's in the pit. Get out there. Push it away. Let's get going, because, do you know, I've had enough of this already. Here's the world feed while we wait and catch breath. Actually, talk us through this, because this is Crawford locking up.
Yeah. It was his turn now to do some grass cutting down at turn 1, and a bird right there, and having to take avoiding action to the Dams Lucas Oil car that came flying at it, and there was also Willa Gomez. Even more.
Where are all these bumps coming from at the exit? Because that's the second bump over the grass now we've seen at turn 1. Bump exit turn 1 of the grass, bump exit turn 8, and turn 10. Really
is no one going to remove this car, or are we just taking our time here?
Get out! Get out there!
I don't see anyone on the car. I don't see right now anyone making an effort even to do anything. We're just sitting here. Oh.
Red flag has been out for 4 minutes. No, 2 minutes. Come on.
You'd expect them to do something, but no. They're just absolutely chilling.
Slow as they like it, not getting anything sorted, and we'll just wait. Oh, it's going to be one of those with the red flags out now. Right, let's cross over to Alex.
For all the championships that we've had for the supercars, for the Formula 3, for the Formula 2 and for Formula 1, plenty soaking up the late evening sun in one of the great sporting cities on earth. And we're just halting proceedings for the time being. It won't be long until we get things going once again as the field, well, 21 of them have made it back, but Victor Martins needs a change in fortune, Alex.
He really does, and you're getting through rounds, aren't you? You have issues in Jeddah, and you have issues, you had issues in Bahrain. Now we're out of qualifying again in the shape of Victor Martins, and all of a sudden you start to look at it, 3 rounds gone, without points, it can really start to tot up the differential with the rest of the field.
Well, VAR have been hugely competitive so far this season. Let's hear from their team principal.
Of course, we've done our sim work. We have the luck that we have both drivers that did their laps here last year. Enzo was racing it last year in F2. Rafa was racing in F3, so they do have the track knowledge. Of course, it's a new car. Things can be slightly different this year, but in the end, the preparation itself, we approach this any other race weekend.
Martin from Van Amersfoort celebrating with the rest of the team. Enzo Fittipaldi with a great performance last time out. The crowd keeping themselves amused. It's the only action we've got to bring you at the moment.
I was always rubbish at that. Red knuckles all day long. After if I ever ventured towards that one, should be good at it, shouldn't you, as a racing driver? Terrible that game.
There's lots of people recognising themselves on the big screen. You've got the lake in the background, that's Lakeside Drive. That's Jack Crawford, who we saw first through the grass. So we had 3 cars off the road on those early push laps, on that first flying lap, effectively. 2 of them got away with it. 1 of them didn't, brought out the red flag, and just like we saw earlier on, it is a recovery vehicle on the track, and that is why we've got a slightly prolonged period under the red flag. We've also got an onboard camera mounted to the ART of Victor Martins, and after a really tough time of it, with tyre deg in Bahrain and not having the opportunity to score either in Jeddah, he's going to have to fight his way from the back for both races. So we are setting the grid for both here. Qualifying session, the grid for the sprint is set by reversing the top 10 of the qualifying result. And then on Sunday, really set how they qualify. The short version is if you're 11th downwards, that's where you're starting from both races. So Crawford watching on, he has had a good start to Formula 2 in 2024. Consistently scoring points, and the podium finish with the 2nd in the opening race of the year. Retirement in the feature after that disappointment at the pit stop, but then 5th and 4th in Jeddah. He's looked consistently quick all the way through, and we have the clock paused, and the Dams racer is waiting like the rest of us for a resumption in the action. Glorious day here. Track temperature 31 degrees, the air temperature is 19, and 42 minutes past 5 local time.
6:42 a.m. UK time. Get on with it.
Of when we will get our resumption. We will find our 3rd pole sitter of the year, who's going to accompany Maini Bortoleto as a Formula 2 pole sitter. And if you're thinking, hold on a minute, Oliver Behrman took pole. That's at least what you claimed on the broadcast a couple of weeks ago. Well, you've actually got to line up in pole position to get the bonus points and to be officially credited with
And he
pole position.
wasn't.
He was busy with all things Formula 1, so that honour goes to Maini instead.
Yeah, absolutely. Miney able to take that pole position. Let's have a look again what then happened to Victor Martins. Down in turn 6, hooks the apex up nicely, and it just gets on the power. And there's such a big bump on that outside curb. You've seen them going well clear of it, the rest of the field. You can see that from the pit lane where they sit parked up. You can see the big screen there, so they'll all be sitting there in their cars watching that back again, thinking, oh yeah, that looks like a nasty one. So Victor Martins, only saving grace on that one is there's absolutely no damage at all to the car. Potentially a flat-spotted set of super softs, so he will be able to fight for 2 more days, but not at all the start that he would have wanted to the session. A man who's impressed throughout the early stages of the year, Pepe Martin, fills our screens.
So qualifying paused for the time being. We've got no representative times on the board, so we're taking you around the grandstands at Albert Park. This is Formula 2's second visit to the track, and everyone wisely remaining in position to see the stars of the future, or in Ollie Behrman's case, star of 2 weeks ago in Formula 1. This is where the young talent is. This is where we're seeing who's going to progress to the next stage. It's not going to be long now, and there's the evidence.
Some great presentation minds, you know, in the crowd, because there's the pre-wave going on for before we've come to them, so they know what's up, they know what's going. Where are they getting their information from? That's what I want to know. They're really enjoying it out there, aren't they? It's great to see, and it's good vibes all around when you stroll down from the comm box down into the paddock here. You go through the fan zone, and not only is it incredibly busy, it's also incredibly good-natured. A lot of, you know, strangers chilling and chatting and having a great time out there. Having a great time out there at times through this year has been Richard Verschoor, who had some great results so far through this year, but also lost some great results to various technical issues.
Yeah, the driver who was with Van Amersfoort last year and found himself returning to Trident, where he'd won with them in the past. He thought he had his second win for the team, disqualified for a technical infringement after taking the checkered flag in the sprint. Bounced back really nicely with 8th place in the feature race. Would have been easy for the head to drop and for the mood to plummet after that disappointment, but he came back and showed all of his experience and a bit more.
Oh, we're going to go
The session
green.
will resume in 30 seconds time. Thanks to all the marshals down there. They've been very, very busy. The cars have been striking the curves all the way through.
Come on, let's go.
An increasing wind, as you can see from the flags from the support race pit lane, further down the end of the pit lane. Saw it from the angle, the long angle, but teams poised, ready and waiting in the grandstands, and you are, I'm sure, at home as well. Wherever you're watching, whether it's late, whether it's early, it is time to head back onto the circuit. 21 cars then will eventually be taking to the fast lane, to the circuit, and generating all of that temperature themselves up.
Yeah, they sure will. No tyre warming apparatus allowed in Formula 2. I should say it's quite a strong and very indecisive wind down there in the pit lane, or when you wander down there. It keeps on swinging around. It's a general tailwind down towards turn 1, but has also swung to sort of a crosswind through the exit. So they've got that to contend with as well through the rest of the session.
This is such a key session. Let's chat to our championship leader about it right now. This is Zane Malone.
Here it's getting the tyres in the window is quite difficult, so that's what most teams will be focused on, getting the tyres in the window. Track position is key as well, especially in qualifying. I think the good part around here is that the tyres probably last more than 1 lap, so you have a bit more margin. But I think similar to everywhere else, just maximise what you have, get the tyres in the window, good track position, and get on pole really.
Yeah, I like that. Let's go. And we're back out on the circuit, finally. 22 minutes to go. So, what? I'm going to be out of about 7:30, do you reckon?
Yeah, probably. Wouldn't be surprised if they cause another delay.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna be hard for all of these drivers to keep it out of the walls because it seems like they are getting very close to it at different parts. But they're out there on the circuit right now then as we get ready for run 1 as we weren't able to put it due to the red flag coming out.
Paul Aron's on a 1:53.2. That's definitely not going to be the time that we're going to be experiencing. Commentary type's frozen. I'll have to change that over. There we go. Needs a refresh. Oops. As they come across the line, we get going now.
Yep, with Kush Maney then, with DRS open, down towards turn number 1 for the Alpine Junior, looking to be at the front of the field in Formula 2 qualifying once more then as he attacks turn number 2 of this circuit. DRS open once again, you put DRS open around the circuit, and you get yellow flags momentarily, but it turns green very quickly.
Yeah, okay, better now. Sector 2, so I think it's just somebody like giving up for a push lap. I swear to God, as this keeps on going. Right, Mike Maney's first sector time. It's a, 31.4. That's a decent time, fastest so far actually. Omi compared to anybody else.
Yeah, Maney continuing to push on then as he takes the car down towards 9. Here comes Zane Maloney as well as we see what he can do in the first sector. He's gone fast, 31.421, so he's looking good as well in the first sector. It's Zane Maloney and, there we go.
Oh, he's jumped over the barrier as well. Wow, Maney over the curb, up in the air, and the Ducks didn't know what to do with that one. Antonelli now.
Yeah. He's looking very quick in the first sector, isn't he? But Maney, all over the curb there. Let's hear from Crawford.
Have a puncture, I touch a wall.
Crawford's touched the wall, and my body is, creating shadows because I literally just jumped at this. What I thought something was in the commentary box. Nothing was in the commentary box. Maney across the line, 1:30.359. He goes fastest overall. Now what about Maloney and Antonelli? They're down in the second sector after setting good sector 1s. Correa goes second across the line. Maloney second. Antonelli's next up soon as well. Paul Aron, again, having such an amazing season after being dropped by Mercedes. He's right up there. Antonelli crosses the line, goes fastest. Antonelli, provisional pole. 1:33.48, and that's more like it, isn't he? That's what Antonelli can do.
That is what Antonelli can do indeed.
Oh, gravel.
But, a lot of gravel there being kicked up towards Paul Aron, who's making his way through turn number 12. And this is another driver, of course, who was part of the Mercedes Academy, but then was sacked. Now, he's gonna try and show them why they shouldn't have sacked him, as he's performed really well this season, and he's gonna continue to do so. Paul Aron then over the line for high tech to the front of the field by over 3.5 tenths of a second. But the man who could be able to beat that is Dennis Hauger, who is no longer part of the Red Bull Academy now.
Yeah, they've all been made way for other people. Paul Aron was made way for Kimi Antonelli coming into it. Andrea Kimi Antonelli. As here comes Hauger, no longer part of Red Bull. Who needs Red Bull, as that sign said a few moments ago? Hauger for MP, second, 1:30.015. The gap, 31 thousandths, wow.
Yeah, absolutely. And Hauger this year, the only thing he'll want in this F2 in this F2 season is basically the championship. That's the only thing he'll need and he'll want, and that's the only thing he'll be happy leaving with. As it's not been the best of seasons for him, as his teammates had a lap time deleted, but it's not been the best of seasons for him. So yeah, as we were meant to watch Crawford, we're watching Maney instead. Let's see, are we gonna get Crawford in a second?
It's going to appear on the side of the screen.
There we go. Wide. So that was him kicking up a bit of grass there, running out a little bit wide, as his teammate Correa also made his way through as well. And we're pushing once more.
Cross the line. No improvement there as they start a lap. It's a really strange, I don't know how to explain it. It's really weird one as Maloney starts to push. First sector for a 1:31.1.
Yep, Maney looking good as well right now as he makes his way through it. Let's see what Maloney is going to be able to do as well. It's a 31.2 for Zane Maloney as he currently pushes on still through turn 5 and into turn number 6 with under 18 minutes to go in this session, and they're all currently chasing improvements and looking to get closer to the lap of Paul Arrow. That was incredible stuff by him. Antonelli is improving as well. In the first sector, he's still at 31.0, slightly slower though than Cushmaney, as Maloney is going now quickest of all in the second sector, and he's up by 1,000th of a second in that second part of the lap.
And yeah, well, Cushman is 31 fast first sector now. Bortoletto 30.9. So Bortoletto's got the fastest first sector. Antonelli's on his heels as well, but Maloney absolutely flying over the gravel as well. That's so much kicked up. I'm hearing they might put some glue down overnight to try and put the gravel together. It's not as silly as it sounds. I mean, we've had the sand glued down in Bahrain before. Maney on top, 129.8. 7-9. Here comes across the line.
Yep, Rotoma Miata over the line there as well. But look further back for Antonelli, who seemed quicker than than Maloney on that lap time, and he goes to the front of the field by 0.2 of a second. Here comes his teammate Oliver Behrman with Bortoletto about to come over the line as well. Behrman goes 7th. So a bit disappointing there for him, but let's see what the reigning Formula 3 champion can do as Sullivan goes 5th.
Bortoletto's got the fastest middle sector. Don't forget, this is the man in heritage pole position. Back in Bahrain 3 weeks ago in the opening round of the championship after his teammate Cushmani was disqualified. It was a 1-2 for Invictus Virtuosi. Are they going to be good across the line? Bortoletto goes fastest, 129.561. Hauger's improving in the second sector. Paul Aron goes faster. Look at that, 129.385. Fastest of all third sector. Track is improving every 5 seconds here in Albert Park. And Hauger, I think, has got some pace there too. Only as he comes again to that third sector, and he's on those ultra softs. The second lap around seems to be working for them.
Hauger does seem very, very quick, fighting away with the car though in third part of this lap. Let's see if Hauger can keep it up in the last sector as he brings it out of the final corner. Hadjar goes into second, and now Hauger's about to come over the line. Oof. Can he go to the front of the field? No, by 0.003 of a second. He's into second position as his teammate Colapinto goes to P7.
What more is this qualifying session going to give? It is super, super close. Paul Aron, 129.385. Hauger is 3 thousandths off. Hadjar, 85 thousandths off. It's literal insanity as Zach O'Sullivan, when he's thrown away some debris, and that's how we got the puncture, Omi.
Yep, absolutely. As well, and so that does explain a little bit. We do have Crawford in the pit lane as well due to his puncture that he got earlier on, so he'll be looking to get back out there. Will the American drivers, they now all come into the pit lane then at the end of run 1, and they're going to now wait for their final run in the session where they're all going to push on, but we could get a red flag easily when we get into that with how they're all going to be pushing. But we hope that is not the case, because it seems very close in this qualifying session so far. 3 thousandths of a second, as you mentioned. The top 3 separated by 85 thousandths of a second, so it's looking really close. And then it's also going to be close to see who's going to be able to get into 10th and above to be in the reverse grid for the sprint race positions as well. If you're 11th downwards, you're going to start both races from there. If you are in the top 10, you will be reversed for the sprint race. So getting 10th could be crucial. Right now, sitting in that position is championship leader and Zane Maloney, and alongside him is Taylor Barnard, who also started there on the front row, but dropped down from 2nd to 5th and then continued dropping down throughout the race. So let's hope that if he does start in that position, he's able to stay up there a tiny bit more, but it is hard in that terrible PHM car.
Yeah, they've been having a bad couple of races. They've been fighting each other mainly in Bahrain and Saudi Arabia, but everyone's coming to the pit lane as Omi said. So let's throw over to the two Alexes and for the mid-session lull.
Next corner, and that's where you start losing out on those big areas of time. That's where we see the field spread out. I'm sure it'll also tighten up. You've got to remember, that's their first set of push laps as well on this compounded tyre ever around this circuit. It was a different compound even for the returning drivers last time they were here. So the super soft compound has never been used, and the team's getting a feel for it as well as the new car, etc. etc.
I thought there was going to be more to that point.
That's what exception means.
No, but I enjoyed you just bailing out of it halfway through by saying etc. Pepe Marti now pushing on. Personal best sector 1, sector 2, making his way through the gravel that's been hauled onto the circuit. And that's the case at so many parts of this storied racetrack, and Marty has decided to do a Maloney and bail out. Even though he was on for an improvement, he's decided that that is enough. Miata's lap time has been deleted. Colapinto's lap time has been deleted. That's why Colapinto no longer has effort on the board. So they're cycling through. Correa as well has had a lap time deleted. So race control cycling through, having a look. That order on the left-hand side could yet change.
The only thing I can think of with those laps is they're basically completing them to put them on fuel for the end of qualifying. They know how important and how much track evolution there'll still be through this qualifying session. We're moving sort of from afternoon into early evening, track temp falling away, ever rubbering in and cleaning up. So they want to get rid of the fuel if they possibly can, and be absolutely on the money for the last run of the session. Duck rescue services. What do we think?
I think they'll be fine.
Someone's going to write in and say they're not ducks, aren't they?
Yeah.
Because I know they're not. It's
They're
okay.
not.
If
They're not.
you're going to write in, I know they're not ducks.
Send your feedback as ever to Alex Brunton. He loves it. Please do that. Even if you have comments on my performance on the microphone today, you send it the way of Alex.
Yeah, I'll tell him. I'll tell him. Don't worry.
He'll feed it back. He'll feed it back. They look like geese to me, but that is the sort of conversation that you have in the gap, which is where we have arrived. Some alterations being made to the front wing element there. Of course, a lot of chat about the rear wing of this car and the barn door that created so much great overtaking action, both in Jeddah and in Bahrain. Yellow flag is out, sectors 1 and 2.
And we've got green, we're fine.
Leto down there. Brazilian driver, part of the McLaren setup, as the rear wing will tell you. The yellow flag is cleared, so maybe a quick removal of some debris. Different approaches being taken, but plenty getting out there early, Alex.
Yeah. For me, to be honest, but I think they've seen what's happened earlier on in the day. There have been so many incidents here. They want to get this final lap of qualifying in. It's a trade-off here. How late do you leave it? You risk a red flag that prevents you nailing the lap at the end if you, as we see that debris being removed there correctly, as you say, Alex, from Sector 1 and Sector 2 covered by yellow flags. But if you go too late, then you might not get the lap in if there's a yellow flag or a red flag. If you go too early, everyone else will beat you because the track will improve through to the end of the session. So you've got to pick your moment if at all possible. Air temperature going down tends to give the cars a little bit more understeer for whatever reason, both in terms of how the tyres perform. Generally you make more temperature with the real tyres because they're delivering power to the road, so they're more affected by temperature differences. So that gives you a feel for that. I'm not going to feel for that. What on earth was that all about through the exit of turn 4?
Villa Gomez with a lock-up from nowhere. An adventure for him today. We're inside 9 minutes to go of the session, and this was a curious looking lock-up when he's just trying to generate tyre temperature.
So I think he's just tried to... It's almost like he pulled the handbrake on. There. I think it's the same issue that we saw for Aaron in free practice, where basically you don't have the brake up to temperature, you get nothing, and then you get everything. When you put energy through the brake pedal, the carbon brakes fire up, and then you suddenly have the rear brakes grab, and he's just trying to build tyre temperature there, and got it's a bit like pouring ketchup out of a glass bottle. Nothing happens, and then it all comes at once.
Okay.
The gun.
I've never heard Alex Jakes so speechless in the commentary box before with that one as well. 8 minutes to go of one of the longest nights we've ever done. And I am looking forward to 3 hours of sleep.
Really quickly, to be fair. I mean, you know, front row first race, I think that shows where he's at. Thinks about everything a lot, gets it right. When it's in his control, he gets it right. So, you know, I think the future looks bright for him, definitely.
Always good words.
So fingers crossed, Domi. We're going to get this one sorted, and this will be the last runs, won't it? So 2 more laps in total.
Fingers crossed indeed, and fingers crossed that we have an absolutely extraordinary end as well. A great way then to end the day. Cannot wait for the sprints coming up as well, as we see Maloney make his way through, and let's see what he's going to be able to do as Antonelli makes some overtakes, and Behrman also going for it in the background as well. Both Promos
I haven't even passed
just
it.
trying to get track position right now.
Yeah, I haven't even passed it. It's still inside of the commentary box. So that'll do for tomorrow. Night shift. I think I actually still have half a pasty. I had 2 pasties. One I had earlier on before I came to the commentary box. That was my tea. And then I had another one in case I got hungry during the night. I hadn't eaten that one. And I think I've got half of one still left upstairs. So I'll eat that before I get 3 hours sleep. Yep, 3 hours sleep, and then I'm back in here for 45 minutes. I could have had, I'll tell you what, I could have had 8 hours if Megan had covered the session. Did she cover the session? Did she? No.
Oh,
I'm going to remind her of that when you know. I felt bad waking her up at 3:30 in the morning on Sunday for the Grand Prix. I no longer feel bad about waking her up at 3:30 for the Grand Prix. As one more with Zane Maloney, who's a 10th.5 down in that first sector to Paul Aron. Paul Aron might actually take pole position here. Mercedes, I think I've got to start looking at him again after the opening 3 rounds. He is constantly performing. It's amazing.
Absolutely, but he might want to go elsewhere as well. He might not want to return after he was literally sacked by them. So let's see if someone else can pick him up and a more loyal team can get him on as well. But yeah, Aaron looking good. Here is Zane Maloney, biometric data as well. And compared to practice, of course, much more higher when you are at this stage, when you know that there could be red flags, when you know that you have to find the lap time at this stage. And Zane Maloney is making his way through the last sector right now at the moment as he gets it slowed down and is about to come over the line is the boy from Barbados. Let's see what he can do. Currently sits in P9. Let's see how close he can get to the lap time of Paul Aaron.
Maloney across the line and goes fastest, 1:29.374 as a yellow flag comes out. Antonelli goes into 6th position, and who's done this now in sector 3? Who's going to get my shoe up their bumper? Behrman's coming through now. Where is this yellow? It's a permanent yellow, so if someone stopped it and stalled it, you're going to get very angry. Maney's fastest sector 1 as well.
Yeah, let's see if we see anything here in this last sector.
Red flag! Red flag's out!
Oh, God.
Someone's in the gravel. Exit of turn 13.
Oh. And Behrman's going to have to do another lap there. So, yeah, that's what I was exactly saying. Red flags. Maloney found the lap time. He's 11 thousandths ahead of Aaron. That could be his lap time. And the top 4 separated by 1/10 of a second. We have a red flag out. And is that a car in the wall
Crawford?
over there?
Is,
Seems like Jack Crawford has found the wall. He had a puncture earlier on, and now he's into the barrier.
Yeah, I recognise the blue. It's the Williams blue for the dams. So Crawford's hit the barrier. Red flag's out then. Let's see how we did it. I mean, he's going to lose I think he's going to lose the rear on entry.
Yeah, let's see. Oh. Well, that was an interesting camera angle to show us that. We heard it, didn't get to see it there for him. Let's hear from him though.
Crash him off. Oh my God, I'm so sorry, guys. All my fault, mate. Okay, Jack, could be that.
Yes, Jack, it is all your fault.
Not a happy Josh as well. I'm gonna have to stay here for and have to wait for everything.
I'm fine.
Because
it's not like I haven't slept for 24 hours.
If everything was the time, you could have just.
What?
If everything went to time, then you could have gone probably in a few minutes.
I would have been
Getting
in
everything
bed.
wrapped up.
I would have been in bed in about 8 minutes. I would have been in bed for 3 hours sleeping.
Yeah.
3 vital
So the order
hours.
currently-
Go on.
Yeah. The order currently, Maloney, who was able to get that lap time exactly at the right time, so that's going to be great stuff from him. Then Aaron still in second, Hauger in third, Hadjar, Bortoletto, the top 5, Antonelli in P6, mainly P7, Stanek, Colapinto and Sullivan currently sitting in 10th position. So as it stands, if it doesn't change from here, then Williams Academy front row for tomorrow's sprint race between O'Sullivan and Franco Colapinto. So that'll be interesting, and you'll have Stanek, who will be in third. Let's hope he doesn't decide to hit anyone out this time as well, like Monza.
Yeah, you were saying about that earlier on the practice session as well from F2.
Yeah.
Right, red flag's out. Got close, didn't we? 4 minutes to go. Let's head back to the boys.
Timed, and that's why you go early. In many ways fortunate, but every single team would have spoken about the potential for a yellow or a red flag at the end of this session and made a decision about when they were going to run. So I'm not going to call it lucky for Maloney. He got across the line, he delivered the lap in time. Now the rest of them have got to chase it with 4 minutes 14 seconds on the clock and a lot of traffic potentially to contend with through to the end of the session.
So we continue to look at the drivers who were able to improve. This is Hauger, who set his lap time earlier on. So Maloney was able to set a 29.3. He was chased across the line as well. Antonelli was able to improve his time, finds himself in 6th position. Miata was a personal best, Colapinto was a personal best, crucially for the driver from Argentina. He's got himself into 9th place, that's in the reverse grid. But the recovery vehicle has ventured into the gravel trap, race control giving the all clear with everyone back in the pit lane. And then they'll have to have a look at the Tech Pro as well, see if that's in a fit state to continue. But the marshals who have been here from really the first action, this is such a packed timetable, makes it a wonderful event, Alex. But we need the marshals to come in very early in order to run it, so we thank each and every one of them, because it's one of our favourite events of the year, and it's only possible with everyone who lines the circuit and volunteers for the run.
Yeah, and I think it's worth adding on to that it's a temporary venue, and it's a temporary venue in a way that takes a tremendous amount of building, setting up, organising and sorting out. So I think we can extend the marshals as a group to everybody who sets up the venue here. It's an incredibly impressive setup to be transporting in, firing up and then taking out just for this event. Only the pit building, basically. Pit building and pit lane stay up. The rest of it gets taken away and taken down again year on year as we wait again then. Red flag. Teams, not too many changes going on. Most of the teams know where they want to be right now. It's just a case of the drivers getting their head around it. They'll be happy of it. They'll want the red flag to last, actually, at this stage, because they want to move into cooler and cooler reaches of the day. We've dropped another degree in terms of
Shut
track
up,
temperature.
Alex.
And every
We want this
degree
to
you drop
end.
with the softer compound of tyres, the better performance you get. We are on the super soft, so they will be hoping that the track temperature continues to drop, because it will help to assist them in attacking the racetrack with more grip.
And that's an unusual sight for one of our onboard cameras. But we find ourselves heading back behind the barriers with Jack Crawford. He's out the car, he's okay. His teammate has had his time deleted for track limits on the earlier run. The Dams looking, considering that they were successful here last year with Oasa, cars lower down the order, but they've still got 4 minutes to play with Juan Manuel Correa. And the session began with a red flag on the first push lap. Victor Martins finding the curb, pirouetting round and out of the session before he'd even completed one lap. It has been a day of gravel traps being visited, of the drivers having to strike the curbs, and Maloney has shown consistency to take provisional pole at the moment. Aaron, great on run 1 on both efforts as well. Hauger looking strong here like he was last year, and then Hadjar and Bortoleto rounding out the top 5. Still time for that order on the left-hand side to completely change. The track is now clear. DRS has been enabled by race control, and that is usually followed by the resumption time, which can't be too far away.
Okay. Unhook the roll hoop. That area of the car especially designed to lift and support the entire weight for quick extraction, but it's a long way down there, isn't it, for that JCB to get, and teams will be taking note of that strategically for the feature race, just looking into just how long that took. That's going to be a red flag, isn't it, all day long, in any kind of scenario, and they can look at least a safety car, more or less, for anything that vaguely rotates. Can't they? So that's a really good feel for the teams on the pit wall as to what they're dealing with in terms of the stoppages. 100% safety car record here in Formula 2. So there's been a stoppage of some sort. I mean, we've only had 1 year of it, but there's been a stoppage of some sort in every single race that's run. I think probably in every single session that's run, actually.
Yeah, not wrong about that. We had some help with the weather last year, but perfectly dry today. And we've seen lots and lots of action on track. Time for some more now, because in 5 seconds' time we'll get a green light at the end of the pit lane. And on the evidence of the session so far, you want to get out there, you want to set your lap as quickly as possible. No invitation required for the field who take to the fast lane, take to the racetrack. And who can improve, who can find a push lap that takes them to the top. Remember, if you're not going to challenge at the very front of the field, you've got to get yourself inside the top 10, reverse that top 10 to set the grid for the sprint tomorrow. They line up how they qualify for the feature on Grand Prix Sunday.
Look at this, very slow out of the pit lane, not at the rear of them. Not be thanking Evo Bortoleto or anybody else that's cruising for that, because they are on a time limit to get round. 3 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock. Should be reasonably comfortable, considering they'll be able to build tyre temperature. But they'll want to get round now. They want to be getting on with it to deliver the laps.
Maney.
1 lap qualifying, mate. Let's go do this. Yep.
Showtime now.
It's 3 minutes to go. And Crawford's into investigation. Noted for an unsafe condition. So was it a tyre failure, maybe? Like the wheel gun wasn't connected properly, and that's why he spun round.
Well, could have been as well. So maybe it will be the Dempsey that are getting the shoe thrown at by Josh.
This should have been about... Oh, and it's going to be investigated after the race. After this session, yeah.
Yeah.
This should have been a half-an-hour session. It's taken us 50 minutes.
Yep, and we're about to get going then to see who's going to take pole. Will it be Maloney, who was able to do it on the last one? He was able to get an extra lap in, so he wouldn't mind a red flag at all. I think Paul Aron might want to try come back as well, and there's so many other drivers in this field who are going to try get into that top 10. Crucial top 10 is going to be Bortoleto currently sitting in P5. Let's see if he can try upgrade that. What can his teammate do, who's currently behind? This is Richard Reshaw.
Leaking?
And yep, he's having a leak there. You can see when exiting the pit lane.
From the rain light, ironically enough. What the hell is that?
What in the world is going on there?
I don't even know what that could be. From a rain light, it must be like... I don't know. It's water or something fluid, but I don't know what it is.
Anything.
Oh, Behrman, unsafe release, has been noted. So Ollie Behrman it could be under investigation at this rate. As Bortoleto starts a lap, Maloney on provisional pole. 1 minute 35 to go. It's a one-lap shootout, and Bortoleto is sliding through 1 and 2, and nearly home put it in the wall.
Nearly put it in the wall there. Bortoleto trying to push. 1 lap for him to try and improve this lap time, and he was surely going all in through turn number 2 there, almost losing the car twice there as he now sends it through turn 4. We're about to get the first sector time to see where he is in comparison to Zayn Maloney as he pushes on through turn number 5. And here we go, in a couple of seconds time, he's down by 700ths of a second. So those few moments that he had on that lap where he was slipping all over the road may have cost him there, and we'll see some other drivers. His teammate Maney is also down as well. So have they been able to generate the heat into the tyres. Is anyone going to be able to find an improvement? It might be one or two drivers to possibly find an improvement. Bortoletto and Maney seen down, but Bortoletto is improving, so I think the graphic's lying, because I've just looked at the timing pages as well, so the graphic might be lying, because they are both improving.
He jumped exit of turn 11 over the curve as well, so we're going to have to wait to see this across the line as to who's got the fastest time. Antonelli's improving. Maney and Bortoletto seem to be down. Antonelli's up and off goes Bortoletto. He keeps it out of the barrier, but the lap time is gone. And that's going to spoil Maney's lap time, I would imagine. It has. It spoiled his teammate.
Oh, that's huge for Maney. Let's see what he can do as he comes over the line, though, as Behrman's also going quickly. Then Maloney. Here comes Maney now. Over the line.
He's done it! Pole position! 129.313. How on earth did Maney do that? When he got Maita goes 8th. But what about Antonelli? Kimi, Andrea, Antonelli. What can he do? Come on, across the line. He's on pole! And the red flag's out. Car in the wall. 14 backwards of Enzo Fittipaldi in sector 2 at turn 8. And it's going to be Antonelli on pole position.
Watch for sure.
Yeah, Vashaw's going to be across the line. He's second. So Richard Vashaw goes second. He's a 10th down. O'Sullivan, Maeta, Hauger's looking incredibly strong, but his second sector was in that yellow flag zone. He's gone through it. And Hauger takes pole by over 0.3 of a second. What? 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 No. How did Hauger do that? He must not have lifted. He was in the yellow flag zone.
I think Maney will be under investigation. Hauger will be under. I think there'll be plenty of drivers under investigation, because they all sped, didn't they? Yeah. Through different parts of the lap. MPR on pole for the moment, but it could be Antonelli if Hauger does get a grid penalty for that.
37.9 third sector and 19.9 second sector. I don't know. To me, I think that feels like Dennis Hauger might have been speeding. That he would have gone through that yellow flag zone in sector 2 to set that lap time. We'll see what the stewards say, but at the moment he's on provisional pole. Fittipaldi's in the barrier at turn 8, and he's walking away. Andrea Kimiatele is second. Roman Stanak has reverse grid pole, if I'm not mistaken. This is how Fittipaldi did it.
Yep, this is Enzo Fittipaldi, winner from Jeddah. Throwed it into the corner, went off into the gravel, high speed there, and then he was a passenger when he went into the gravel. It was straight into the barrier for Enzo Fittipaldi. It was a great weekend for him, winning in Jeddah. But, of course, he went into this one now. He said he didn't want to get overconfident. He knew that there was a possible... He said that possibly could challenge for the title. I hope he hasn't got too overconfident there. Has Enzo Fittipaldi. He came off good momentum. Hopefully that doesn't ruin some of his momentum there.
So, Hauger pole, Antonelli second, Vashaw third, Maney fourth, Maloney fifth, Aron sixth, as they come through a stellar F2 quali, longer than expected, but Dennis Hauger's on pole position. Let's hear from him now and hand over to the boys.
Pole position, well done, congratulations. Yes, come on. Wow. Oh, yes. Oh, that's how we do it, come on.
Well, you can hear just how much it means to him. Congratulations to Dennis Hauger of MP.
Well, that is clearly not Alex Jakes and Alex Brundle. That is Natalie Pinkham, who has taken over because they've signed off. So I suppose we'll do the same. Omi, what did you make of that session?
Absolutely loved it, but yeah, they're going for the F1 show now, so not waiting around at all. But yeah, fantastic Formula 2 qualifying, really close, but that is all provisional. You have Stanek on reverse grid pole, and of course Bortoletto alongside him. That's all provisional, though there will be many penalties for impeding and all sorts of stuff going on, and of course going not lifting in the yellow flags, possibly for even our pole sitter. So we'll have to see with that one, but great effort by Antonelli to be second, and it could be first as well for him. We'll have to wait and see. But what a Formula 2 qualifying that was. I think we have some interesting F3 and F2 races coming up tomorrow.
All of the F2 and F3 are available to watch on YouTube. They are, for the live streams, ready to go. It's been a long night here at JB Motorsports, and it's not over yet. We get 3 hours rest now. I'm going to bed, and then we'll be back for MotoGP's free practice 1, then another break of about 4 hours. Then we'll be on again for the crucial hour of practice, and then we'll be underway with Thermal Club for IndyCar and their session, and it will be all go from there. My thanks to you, Omi, for your company. My thanks to you at home. It is pole position provisionally for Dennis Hauger on Sunday's feature race. Bye for now.